They carry the will of legends.
The path of the sword is a journey of total dedication. It's a life walked on the razor's edge between ambition and sacrifice, where victory is paid for with blood. For Roronoa Zoro, this path has been his one and only obsession since he made a promise to his childhood friend. But every path has a final destination, a last mountain to climb. And for Zoro, that mountain has a name: Dracule, Hawkeye, Mihawk. Many believe their rematch is inevitable, and if it happens, it's destined to be more than just Zoro's hardest battle. To have a shot at victory against the man at the absolute pinnacle of swordsmanship, Zoro will likely be forced to embrace a part of himself he's never fully unleashed. This would forever change his journey to become the world's strongest swordsman. But it won't just be his raw power or his cursed blades that could win him the fight. It'll be the moment he's forced to answer one single critical question. What is he willing to become to protect his captain's dream? To get the sheer gravity of this potential battle, we have to go back to where it all started. A promise between two kids, Zoro and Quina, to one day become the world's greatest swordsman. After Quina's tragic death, Zoro took on her dream as his own, turning his ambition into a solemn vow. That vow, though, was built on the confidence of a big fish in a small pond. The East Blue was just no match for him, and his belief in his own strength was absolute. And then came the Bharati. Then came Mihawk. That first meeting wasn't a fight. It was a lesson, taught with humiliating grace. Mihawk, using nothing more than a tiny pocket knife, effortlessly tore down everything Zoro thought he knew about himself. The scar he got that day wasn't just on his chest, it was carved into his soul. It became a permanent reminder of the vast, seemingly impossible gap between him and his goal. But in that crushing defeat, something important was born. As he turned to face Mihawk, ready to accept a swordsman's death, he declared that a wound on the back is a shame. This act of pure honor earned him Mihawk's respect and a challenge. Surpass me, Roronoa Zoro. From that point on, Zoro's dream wasn't just for him or Quina anymore. After vowing to Luffy that he would never lose again, his ambition became forever tied to Luffy's. If and when Zoro and Mihawk finally crossed swords for the last time, it would be an absolutely cataclysmic event. This wouldn't just be a battle of techniques, it would be a clash of wills forged over a lifetime. Zoro, now a master in his own right, would unleash advanced armament and conqueror's haki. His attacks would be ferocious, but Mihawk isn't just strong. He is the standard. The man who used to duel with Shanks for fun. Every strategy Zoro tries, Mihawk will have an answer for. Every opening Zoro tries to make, Mihawk would see it coming, his hawk eyes possibly even having future sight. Zoro would realize the man he's fighting is the embodiment of perfection in swordsmanship. Zoro's raw power that let him bulldoze through monsters would find its limit. His conqueror's haki would be met by absolute defense. Yoru is less a weapon and more an extension of Mihawk's unshakable will. The issue wouldn't be just a lack of power. It would be a challenge to Zoro's entire philosophy. He's always believed that with enough strength and determination, anything can be cut. But how do you cut a mountain? How do you beat a man who has no weakness you can see? This struggle would force Zoro to see that he can't win by just being a stronger version of his old self. Closing the gap would demand a complete transformation. Every major Zoro fight has had a moment where he breaks past limits. Against Mr. One, he learned to cut steel. Against Kaku, he unleashed Asura. Against King, he learned to tame Enma by pouring Conqueror's haki into it, embracing King of Hell. A final fight with Mihawk would test all these moments. At the edge of defeat, with his spirit tested, Zoro would face the moment of final evolution. He'd look inward to the promise to Kuina, the oath to Luffy, and the nature of his ambition. The key might lie in the balance he found against King. He realized he couldn't be just a swordsman chasing his dream, nor just a subordinate for his captain. He must be both in sync. To beat Mihawk, he'd have to fully internalize this, letting go of hesitation and unleashing everything. This is where the closed-eye theory could come true, unlocking new Asura power or new Haki mastery. He would truly define King of Hell. It's not just a cool title, it's an identity. To protect the future Pirate King, he must become a true demon, a figure that strikes fear into anyone who stands in their way. The King of Hell can't be beaten by a mere hawk. This final self-actualization would be the turning point of the fight. The final exchange of blows would be legendary, supreme-grade blades clashing with Conqueror's Haki at peak. If Zoro stands victorious, he wouldn't be the same. This victory would close the chapter that has defined him since childhood. The promise to Kuina fulfilled, the vow to Luffy honored, and the title of world's strongest swordsman earned through decades of sacrifice. But this change would be deeper than just a title. In defeating Mihawk, his ultimate rival and teacher, Zoro would absorb the final lesson. The restless drive would become quiet, absolute confidence. He'd no longer be the challenger. He would be the top. His role in the crew would evolve from protector to a symbol of unattainable strength, a pillar whose presence alone warns enemies. The fight with Mihawk is the crucible that could forge Zoro's final form. Winning wouldn't just make him the strongest swordsman, it would fundamentally change who he is. He would go from hunter to king, from student to master, finally becoming the right hand of the Pirate King. After a fight like this, Zoro will never be the same. What kind of wild technique could Zoro use to defeat Mihawk? Drop your theories in the comments and subscribe for more One Piece deep dives. Thanks for watching.